Good evening, everybody. I'd like to bring the Munhall Workshop meeting together for March 11th, 2025. I'd like to call to order. Do the Pledge of Allegiance. Hey, Ken, you want to do it?
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, you want to do roll call?
Yep. Mr. Brennan. Here. Mr. Bodine. Here. Ms. Fry.
Here.
Mr. Junkins.
Here.
Mr. Eads. Here. Assistant Chief Carino.
Here.
Mayor Moles. Here. Matt.
Here.
Bob. Here. Dave.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Cool, thank you. We had a workshop executive session. We couldn't talk about it because it was for candidates. We looked it up and proved it. So we're going to go into the registered presentations. Mr. Matruzzi, you want to speak?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank council for having me here. And it's really short and sweet. I passed the paper around and should be on your desk and permits. Thing is that our street up in the co-op was very bad and it hasn't been paved for between 20 and 25 years. All we do is keep patching it. And I think we're just not less people go up there. So the playgrounds have been bad for the last couple of years. Mr. Bicey comes up and fixes them now and then, but they need new stuff on them. And other than that, I don't want to take any more of your time up. I appreciate if you'd read what we wrote. It's very easy to read it. And I thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matruzzi. Joyce Sabo?
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for having us this evening. I'm Joyce Sabo with Oak Street Health. And this is my colleague, Jenna DiBiase. Oak Street Health is a brand new primary care physician office. Excuse my back, gentlemen. But we wanted to kind of talk to everyone. We are a brand new primary care physician office that's going to be opening a week from Friday. We're very excited about our opening. And we're right here on 8th Avenue in Homestead, so about 3-4 minutes down the hill. So we're really excited to be coming to this community. Oak Street Health is a very unique and new healthcare concept. We have been around about 10 years. We originated in Chicago by an emergency room physician that an older woman kept coming into the ER about once a week. And he finally asked one of the nurses, "What's going on? She's coming in here once a week. There's issues." And the nurse said she doesn't have a primary care physician. She doesn't have access to a primary care physician. There's no one really looking out for her health care. And this ER doc said, you know, we got to do something about that we should not be treating our seniors this way. So he formed Oak Street Health. We are now in over 250 centers in 25 states. And it's just grown and grown because the senior population needs health care the way it should be. And so Oak Street was born. So we are a primary care physician office that solely assists and cares for Medicare beneficiaries. So of course those over 65, but also under 65 if there is a disability. Again, it was 10 years ago when this started, and we've grown and grown, and now we are here in the Munhall area, so we're real excited for that. Jenna is our practice manager. I am the outreach manager. Right now we are doing our outreach. Again, we'll be opening a week from Friday. So we're trying to just get in front of as many seniors as we possibly can who need our assistance in this community. So again, we thank you for having us here tonight. Jenna, our practice manager, can talk more to the clinical side of things.
So good evening. Thank you everyone for having us in and listening. I really feel strongly about Oak Street Health. I've been in healthcare for about 17 years, and out of the 17 years, about 10 of those years have been in practice management. I really was drawn to Oak Street Health because we're all about people having more birthdays and healthier birthdays. We understand that there has been a shift in healthcare where people don't feel listened to, they don't feel like they're being treated as a whole, and they're not seeing the results that they want. Oak Street has developed a model that allows our doctors to only see a set number of patients a day. Your appointment is always going to be 40 minutes. Whether you need the 40 minutes or not, you always have 40 minutes with your provider. And I think that's very important because that's the number one thing that we hear when we go out into the community is that there isn't enough time for patients to be heard. The other thing that we really have kind of brought full circle is we're not going to send you out for lab work to test you for peripheral vascular disease, to look at your A1C. We're going to do that all in-house. We're going to get all of that in-house. We're going to go over that the same day, and we're going to come up with a plan for you. And I think that's very important because as a practice manager, I've seen numerous times people come in with just diagnoses hanging on them. What does this mean? Where did this come from? Where did you get it from? How is that affecting you? So we're going to take the time to really scale it back and figure out what it is that you need to be well and stay well. If you come to Oak Street Health, you are 51% less likely to end up in the emergency room or hospitalized. And that is our big goal. We do not want you to go to the emergency room and pick up other bugs or be admitted and possibly have a fall. We have a 24/7 nurse line. So even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you call, a nurse is going to answer the phone, a real nurse. She's going to talk to you, she's going to call your doctor, and then call you right back with that answer. You're never on your own. We're always there. And we do same day and next day appointments. So it could be the end of a day and you could call in and we'll get you in first thing that morning. Our biggest selling point, and you've probably seen it, is we have a big green van. It is our big green limo. That is our transportation for our patients. We pick you up at home, we bring you in, and we take you right back. There's no waiting, there's no driving around for hours. You actually will come to know your driver because they stay with us for a long time. But on top of that, we see the psychosocial effect that our senior adults need. We have a community center that's open all the time. Whether you're our patient or you say, I don't think so, that community center is open for you to come in and hang out, talk with other seniors, maybe watch a movie, play some games, do some crafts. We serve as a heating and cooling shelter for the public as well. So if there's seniors, anybody who's in a crisis and they don't have heat, they don't have AC, they are welcome to come in and get relief from either the heat or the cold with us. The biggest selling point that I will say is Joyce is fabulous in the outreach team. We do a lot of events, and these events are solely based on what our patients want to do. We're not going to come to you and say, okay, well, we're just going to play cards today, or we're just going to do a craft. Whatever you want to do, tell us. We're here for you. We want you to feel supported and be happy and well. And the biggest thing that I would like to point out is that everyone complains when they go to see the doctor. What is your biggest complaint about the doctor? Anybody? Scream out what you think your biggest complaint is.
You wait too long in the waiting room.
There you go.
Yep, and what else? There's another big one too. The doctor's doing this, right? Not looking at you, typing. So we are very strategic with our scheduling. We basically only allow for so many appointments a day, which means that your provider is only going to have a total of 350 patients, not 3,000. So they're going to come to know you very well. We have scribes that go in the room with the doctor, and they do all the dictation for the doctor so that they are focused on you. They're making that eye contact with you, and you're getting that one-on-one attention that you need. And I hope that you guys come and see us. We're so excited.
I think you'll be invited, yeah.
We have events, and I'm going to invite you this summer in June, July, and August. We have our Main Street Market Nights.
We will be there.
You coming?
We're already going to the meeting on the 27th.
Well, good.
Yes, thank you very much.
One thing you said for seniors, what age and up is this for?
So typically, it's for people of Medicare age, so 65 and older. However, there are people under 65 that are on Medicare with a disability. They can come see us as well.
And do you take all health insurances?
Yeah, so right now, the only credentialing we're waiting on is UPMC. So we're still playing the game with them, but we take...
Highmark, Aetna.
We're actually a preferred partner of Aetna, and we are integrating with CVS Health. Our clinic in Erie and many of them across the United States are big enough that they have a full CVS pharmacy inside of them. so that when patients come in, we get rid of all those obstacles that are keeping you from having good care. So if you're not able to get transportation and get your medicine, doctor sends it over. By the time you leave the room, the pharmacist in the back end has that ready for you.
Another really unique thing about Oak Street Health, when have you ever been able to choose your primary care doctor? By going and interviewing them first. Never, pretty much unheard of, right? I know I've never been able to do that. At Oak Street Health, we do what's called a welcome visit first, where you come and actually experience everything Oak Street has to offer. From coming in and meeting with the patient relations manager, to seeing the doctor, to getting your vitals checked, going back, actually seeing the beautiful new center, newly renovated, state-of-the-art, everything. And you really get to experience what Oak Street is all about. Then and only then do you decide that, yes, you know what, this is what I want to do. At that point, we then take care of getting all of your medical records from your existing primary care. So right now, that's exactly what we are doing. We're scheduling welcome visits. We have 68 welcome visits scheduled right now prior to opening, so that's just every day. We just add more and more. There are a lot of people in need and a lot of people that really don't care for their doctor. They might like their doctor, they're okay, but it's the wait times and it's so they really, the patients that we have really enjoy Oak Street and everything that we do.
If you come to us, the other thing that we're able to offer is independent insurance agents. So what that means is, if you come in and you tell me, I really don't like my health insurance, I can't afford my medications, I can't afford this deductible, you're gonna sit down with that independent insurance agent and they're gonna find you a plan that covers the medications that you need, the specialists, the doctors that you need, and they're gonna get you signed up and enrolled that day. They do all of that in front of you. We don't leave you hanging. And that is the big thing. A lot of times when you go to the doctors, when you're done, they go, okay, Mr. Smith, we'll see you in 3 months. Here's your work, get it done. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, I do, because I'll talk forever.
Yeah, I have to rein her in sometimes. We don't want to take up a lot of time.
No, but that's the biggest thing.
There's just so much to tell.
You need new insurance, we're gonna help you with that, and we're never gonna let you figure it out on your own. We have departments for that. Yes,
Do you see the same doctor every time if you
Yes.
make an appointment?
yep, same doctor every single time,
The same one?
same one.
Same one.
Every time, that's a big question,
Yeah.
and I get it, you develop relationships with a physician, and it's very disheartening when you come in and you don't know that you're not seeing that provider that day, you're seeing somebody else. But every time you come in, you're gonna see the same doctor. And we have two, we have a nurse practitioner who's in Monday through Friday, and a physician who's in Monday through Friday.
You gonna do any kind of services like x-rays and stuff like
So
that?
I wish we could do x-ray, but you need a lot of lead walls around you to run an x-ray, and I don't think Oak Street wants to spend that kind of money. But we do offer durable medical equipment, so if you need a shower chair, you need a walker, you need a wheelchair, you're gonna go home with it that day because we have it in the center. And we're gonna make sure Medicare pays for it too. That's the kicker. You're not gonna get a bill for your equipment.
One other thing I'd like to mention, we have been selected by AARP as the premier healthcare model for seniors. So we're very proud of being selected by them for that. So, any other questions? Okay, thank you
guys so
again for
much.
having us. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Come see us, come see us. That's what we want.
Would any of you like a brochure?
Any public comments?
Anyone want a brochure?
So aren't you located in the old Owls building?
Yep.
Yes, we are. You know, I have a funny story about that. I was telling a woman, she was asking me where it was at, and I said, you know, back in the day, it was an Owls Club. She said, oh, I know where the Owls Club is. I had to pick my husband up there every day, because he's a little too tipsy to drive. Do you guys like one? Thank you very much. Thank you for indulging us.
Sure, does anybody have public comments? I don't think that.
No, anybody have public comments? No?
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave if you don't mind. We'll send you some kind of notification.
The borough manager will.
Okay, thank you.
Right,
Appreciate
much,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, there's his petition. Can you
See you
keep that in
guys.
the box?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
See you, David.
Take care. Okay, a finance committee report, if anybody wants, the finance committee wants to do it, can they do it? Meeting?
I wasn't there.
No, David,
I was
you
down
did
at-
the talk.
I was down at the home show.
I'll just hit the highlights. I had a finance committee meeting yesterday. Finances look good. We had a couple of expenditures at the beginning of the year that will be reimbursed for. Most notably, we had the expenditure of the charging facility for the electric garbage trucks, but that gets reimbursed by the county and the state. But it looks like we're spending a lot more on public works than we were budgeted for, but I'm probably gonna move that to a different part of the budget, so it's cleaner and clearer for everybody. Bottom line is we have about $700,000 in the general fund currently, and that should be good enough to last us until the end of April, beginning of May, when we start collecting our tax revenue, and then we should be in a very good position. No projected major expenditures for the next few months. Bob, do you want to give a brief public works?
I have nothing to report.
All right.
Parks and Rec, I just want to tell you all that the girls softball will have their opening day on Saturday, April 26th. I tried to get in touch with the boys baseball. I haven't heard back yet, but once I hear, I'll let you know.
I know that they,
Oh, you do know?
they're having it the same day,
Ah,
unfortunately, but they're having theirs at 2 o'clock.
okay.
So it's gonna be hectic going back and forth.
Where is it, what is,
The
what day?
baseball will be at Troutman Field April 26th at 2. Girls softball is, did they move it up to 10, Rini?
Yes, they
They
always.
moved it up to 10, they usually did 11, but they moved it up to 10 this year because of baseball has the same day.
Community and property, we,
I have a comment on Parks and Rec.
go ahead.
So I got a phone call from a resident, and this person was a little upset. They had their 2-year-old child down at Troutman Field in the little park that we have there. It's a child's park. And there were teenagers there, and teenagers are gonna be teenagers, but the language was pretty bad. And, you know, the person didn't complain, but she really felt terrible about bringing her 2-year-old child down to a little kids park and having, you know, 15, 14-year-olds cursing and, you know, wrestling. And the little box that they have in the back there, is that the?
Got a pit?
Yeah, well, that was a wrestling pit now, that's a wrestling pit now, so they're wrestling in there. So, which, kids are gonna be kids, and I understand that. When one of the teenagers was kicking the swing, the little kid swing, and her 2-year-old was running around there, she said to the person, to the child, hey, watch what's going on, or I don't know what she said, you know, she said, hey, you know, basically, they're kicking the stuff around. I mean, kids are gonna be kids, but I don't know what can be done, or something can be done about trying to separate teenagers, you know, park setting like that, but certainly there wasn't many parents around. So the next day I drove down there, and it was a much different setting because the person who called me said, you know, I was the only parent there. There were no parents there. So when I went there were parents with their kids there, and you know, I called the person back and I said, you know, it's a much different setting today. I understand your problem with kids, and kids are going to be kids, but you know, I don't know what an answer is. The person said, I've been to many parks throughout the city, throughout Brentwood, and all these other places, and never had a problem like you encountered in Munhall, and said, I won't be coming back to Munhall's Park for trout. So I wanted to let council know, and the mayor, and the police department, that there's a little bit of an issue there.
It has been a problem. It was a problem last year too. The police did get calls down there, and some of the kids were brought to homes. I believe, Jamie, that some of the kids got rides home before they got out there, you know, for a day, kind of, you know, suspended them for the day for thing. Talking to some of the parents, but you're right, the language is bad. You know where I live.
And is there a problem with language in a park, chief? Is that something that's allowed?
It's a disorderly conduct, it can be, depending on how old the child is.
I'll give your 2-year-old there.
I mean, the child that is saying the bad word.
Yeah, I mean, if they're 15,
10 or above,
pardon me?
10 years old or above, we can
Okay.
cite them.
Okay.
So, yeah, there is a problem with language down there, and sometimes the kids, I've got complaints too, sometimes they're very insulting to, when they're confronted by one of the parents.
Oh, they did. They
That's happened
confronted
before.
this person, and then they called their mother, and the parents came down and confronted them too. They didn't come
I
down,
recommend-
they didn't come down and say, bring their child away. They confronted this person with the 2-year-old child there and said, what are you doing? So,
And they probably should just call 911 and have us handle it.
when she called me, I said, call the police.
That's what-
First thing I said, call the police, because it's just not
Not worth it.
worth getting into an argument about, right? And that brings back the subject of field marshals that we used to have in our parks. I think a field marshal throughout the summertime could really help that situation be alleviated, we'll say.
Right.
I mean, there has been talks about, the language, about getting some cameras up there, because I'm still very concerned about us putting all that money into that park and equipment getting damaged. So I think cameras do need to go up there, and I brought that up at council meetings before.
Well, I mean,
And I do want to see cameras, at least if
These
something
kids,
happens, something's
they're
broken.
kicking swings, and who knows what they're doing, so that's destructive behavior.
They've broken things already there. Some of it's,
Right.
nothing's bad, but Mr. Bicey's been able to fix
Mhm.
a couple of things that have been broken down there.
That's all I have to say.
There was glass broken down there just in the fall that I cleaned up. Somebody broke glass down there and I just cleaned up. I don't know who did it. Yeah, it's on the, travel cameras are on the agenda
Right.
tonight.
Right.
So we've been talking about that for quite some time.
How's the field marshal structure? How does that work?
Well, we had retired people who worked, and they would take care of Westfield. They would open the fields up, they would check the bathrooms out, and they would travel to the other parks during their 3 hours or 4 hours that they worked. And it's worked well. I mean,
I put that on the budget for this year, and I haven't proceeded with it, but I thought it would be a good idea to
I
have it.
think it's a great idea.
So,
And if they had walkie-talkies, that they could talk to people, or they could be in touch with the police department, that makes their position even stronger.
is there just one during, like one per shift, I guess, one person, or are there multiple?
Well, I'm not sure how, they had several, I
Okay,
think.
they
There
had
were
several.
2, I think, 1 or 2.
I thought
We
they
had
were
them solely up at the field here, just at
They were
Westfield.
just call-outs, weren't they?
There were some, they had regular scheduled
Scheduled.
hours.
They were
During
scheduled.
during
Or, I mean, not
baseball
to be here
games
the whole
going on
time,
at-
were they?
No, they weren't here the whole time. They would come and they would open the field up,
Right.
and then
Turn the
they would
lights
go
on.
to another park and work there, and then they'd come back, they'd close the field down. Rather than, I don't know what we do now as far as if we use public works still to shut things down, open things up.
That's why I wanted to do field marshals, because it's a cheaper option generally.
Absolutely. If you could get young people to do this, like young college kids to work during the summers, that would be ideal as well. There's a lot of options.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna delve into that some more.
Well, isn't like the opening the bathrooms and making sure they're clean a public works position?
Mhm.
Making sure they're clean, definitely.
Yeah.
Opening the bathrooms is arguable. But yeah, making sure they're clean, yes, definitely. That makes
It would be like a monitor.
But if it's after hours, and yes, if they're doing a workday, yeah, it's no big deal, they can just do it. But if it's a weekend, we'd be paying overtime for that.
We always had monitors in Homestead at our playgrounds, and they stayed all day. But they were paid at that time, we were able to pay them at that time, but they stayed all day and taught crafts and different things to the children also. So that may be a possibility of looking into hiring a college student or someone there from the community who wanted to help make crafts and keep an eye on the place and keep an eye on the kids.
We haven't had a summer program in several years.
Right, we had that for a little bit, but that
But it was
really
very
it
fully
failed.
attended.
It failed.
it just didn't seem worth the while. Some
Right.
days they would have, 2 kids there.
But I would think with the baseball people that come in here into this field, we could certainly handle that. It would be really nice, just to make sure the garbage is clean. I mean, if there's a problem there and there's a lot of garbage, they could call someone out and have someone from Public Works come and help them as well. So there's a lot that could be done to maintain the fields a lot better, all the fields.
All right, let's go on to community property. We just got the paperwork from Homestead for the tax forgiveness. We gotta look at it and get it out to everybody. So it's been a slow process, but we're working on it. I don't have nothing else, Dave.
All right.
Just for consideration.
Why don't you tell me about the truck that needs repair, Bob? You know better than I.
Talking to the mechanic, he said we should just put some kind of leak sealant in it
Could you speak up, please?
for like
Yeah.
$17.
Where's it leaking?
It's a slight crack in the head of the truck,
In the head?
yeah. It's an external leak, and he said not to put that much money into it.
Okay, so that's a much cheaper option than we first told me,
Yes.
10,000.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
How
yeah.
old's the truck, Bob?
16 years old.
Okay.
What's the size of the truck?
It's a 10-ton dump.
Do we use it for plowing still? Is it a
Yes.
full-service truck?
Yes.
What's the cost of a new one?
What's
200
it,
grand?
200,000.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
right.
Okay, yeah, a cheap fix like that would be great, I think. I mean, anything
Yeah, we
else?
already did it, so
Okay, good. I'm glad we got that.
$17.
All right, sounds good. Update regarding Green Light Go for the 22nd Avenue light. We tried to apply for that grant. And we have not registered any of the traffic lights with PennDOT in Munhall. That's a new requirement over the last 5 years. So I'm in the process of doing that, but because of that, we're not qualified for that grant. So since it's a critical issue, Nick Piscitano said that he would be able to get a little bit of money for us to fix that lights.
Do we know how much it's gonna cost to fix it?
Roughly about $30,000. And that's within his discretionary grant writing capacity. So I think we should just reach out to him and ask him, can you get us the money for that?
Absolutely.
Because we could wait another year and apply for it next year, but that seems like a long time.
Right.
Right.
And people seem to be, especially in the mornings, right, mornings is when it's worse.
You can still apply for it next year, even if you.
We could, well, for maybe another light somewhere.
Right.
It's gonna get worse.
But I gotta get all our lights registered first. But that's where we are with that. So, we can vote on it next week if you want me to reach out to
Yeah, we can.
or one of the council can.
Yeah.
Tim, yeah.
Tim said he'll reach out to him.
I'm gonna talk to him.
Tim, did you have any more insight into tax exemption, tax abatement thing that we just got the paperwork for? Do you want to add anything to that, other than what Dave already said?
No, I mean, I know the school approved it, 2 weeks ago? I mean, we need to sever the Greg, get back to us, change the name on the paperwork. It's not broken, it's the same, paperwork that Homestead uses, and it works well for them. So I don't think we should change the paperwork.
How many properties did they do on there, do you know?
I think there's 5 more going through.
You don't know
Like
what
2
the total
weeks.
was?
I don't know what the total is.
I gave it to Greg right this afternoon, so we can start working on that.
Building it right here at 15th and West, and it wasn't worth anything. Now it's just appraised at $520,000.
It's got a store in it and everything.
So it works. The program works. We just have to make sure we do it.
Is that the old Zervin's Market?
No, that's
At the red light.
at the red light by
At the
Master
red light.
Muffin,
Oh, down by,
on the corner
by
right
the old
there.
ice house.
Across from the ice.
Across from the ice
Yeah,
house.
down there.
Yeah, muffler, that muffler place.
We rode down McClure Street, and we came right by you. There's two right there on McClure Street that are going through the process right now that are absolutely beautiful inside. And you saw the one at 15th and McClure, that the roof was bad. it was a jungle, and it's beautiful on the inside now, so it works. We have a lot of properties that it would help us with.
And there's 2 more investors that came into town, Tommy from Braveheart told me. He had 2 more investors coming into town because of this
Get a
program.
group of investors.
Yeah, they got a good group of investors because of this program, they're gonna come into Munhall.
It worked very well for Homestead folks. We took a lot of properties off of our demolition list that he bought that we were gonna have to expend monies to tear down. He bought them, fixed them up, and running them on. So it can work in Munhall too.
Hey, you missed the stormwater.
Oh, yep. I had a discussion with with our engineering company regarding the stormwater reduction plan that was first developed by Hatch, I believe. We've got a couple issues we need to address, some outflows, and we need to update the GIS for that as well. I've started putting out some basic public information regarding stormwaters. There's a couple pieces of brochures over there, so that we can start educating the public about it, because that's another component of this survey. We have to be in compliance with the state regarding our handling of the stormwater system.
And we have not done none of the compliance, correct?
That is correct. Well, we started doing some public outreach, but yes, we are definitely way.
We just started this due next year.
Yes. So we have to, we've also made some progress on GIS. I need to talk with the engineers about that and make sure they have everything they need so that we can properly map everything. But I think the critical piece is finding out these outflows. I think there's 5 outflows, we don't really know where they go.
Mhm.
So we need to get that figured out. Otherwise, we could face some severe punishment from the state.
It's in fines, correct?
Well, the fines is basically you have to get this fixed by this date, and that would usually cost millions of dollars.
Right.
It's not a fine per se to the state, they just say you gotta get it done. And you have this much time to do it. So we have to avoid that, although the nice thing is that almost nobody is in complaint, so it's not like we're the only ones. But I wanna be on top of it and at least show some good faith effort in addressing the stormwater system.
David, if I could add to that.
Please.
We just heard today that cammering, mapping, surveying
Yeah.
is eligible for that PA small water grant.
Good.
How much, do you know how much the cap is for that grant?
500,000.
Well, it's a sizable.
That's awesome.
So we could possibly do some more cammering, cleaning, mapping.
We should.
We've reached out to Armstrong, right, Bob? Regarding the last little bit of the televising? Okay.
Robinson Pike.
Robinson, sorry. Do they need any more information from us so they can, do we need to find the old surveys so they know where we already finished?
He was talking about some kind of maps, but I don't know who got them.
Did you send him that map that I emailed you?
So we have an outstanding, just so the council is aware, we have an outstanding grant with PA Small Water for televising from, was it 2020?
Yeah, I think so.
That we should have finished a while ago. We got mostly done, but there's about $3,000 worth of work we still have to account for because it was more effective and efficient than we thought. So we have some money, we're gonna close that out and then we can apply for the grant with PA Small Waters. So I need to get that done. We're in the process of filing for the last extension for it, but we need to get it done this summer.
When will this grant be taken for the Camry?
The one I just mentioned?
Yeah.
It's open now and closes at the end of April.
So we'll put it,
we need to apply for it.
Yeah, we'll apply for it. Dan's aware of that one. I'll talk to them about what we want to apply for. We're also looking at maybe some money also for repairing some catch basins as well.
Right.
So I'll reach out to Dan tomorrow and talk to him about that.
Awesome.
Carlo renovation. Carlo University came by 2 weeks ago. So Chatham is very interested in using the second floor to turn into locker rooms for the girls softball team. That would be on the second floor, facing the field. And I took Carlo up there and basically said, hey, we got the other side of that hallway that's open as well, and they're also very interested in creating a girls' locker room for their softball team. Then I took them up to the third floor and they said, hey, this is a lot of space. We might be able to use more space than just that.
Which one?
Third floor.
Carlo?
Carlo.
Okay.
They talked about possibly a batting cage.
Inside?
Nice.
Wow.
That had been mentioned before.
So it's gonna take a little bit of time to get the third floor ready for anybody to even renovate, but I think we move forward this year on getting the second floor renovated, and then Chatham wants to move in August, start working in August on getting their facility to put in.
Well, did you already get bids for the hallway up there?
Waiting for them to come in.
You waiting for them to come in?
Yeah, I took 2 contractors through, showed them what we wanted. I'm just waiting for the bids to come in.
Okay.
So that'll be good to get some money in for that space, and we can use that to put into the rest of the building.
Nice.
I need to get a price for another unit on the roof. We might be able to hold off for a little while for filling out the second floor, but we probably should try to find money or something to get a second unit put up on the roof. So the third floor could definitely not handle what we currently have.
Right.
Without another unit.
But the rest of the second floor could?
Well,
Possibly.
they'll have to deal with their college kids.
Now, are they planning on putting showers in that locker room and everything, or are they gonna use
No showers.
just the locker room?
Just a locker room.
All right.
So that's moving forward. They're both very interested, so I think we can get that going.
Good.
We need to advertise. R2 zoning, we have to advertise for R2 zoning right next, we have to go over that, right?
We have to put a motion to
Next week,
to
to advertise.
advertise for fall.
Yeah, so that's what, I don't know if there's anything we need to add, we've been talking about this for a while, so.
And is that up in the garden?
R2, yeah, well, all R2 areas.
All of them? All right, cool.
You have to do mailings for that then, or? No?
We just have to vote on it next week.
Lorna, what did you ask about?
If there had to be a mailing, that is R2 up there already, correct?
There's several R2 areas.
Okay, so what are we doing up there then? I haven't been here for a while.
An ordinance where any, like old school buildings, old business buildings or anything in an R2 area could be changed into apartments.
So the school, all those buildings are in an R2 now, correct?
Yes.
So you're amending the zoning
Zone,
ordinance,
right.
and planning is amending this?
Yes, they recommend it. It went in front of planning several months ago, and they put the recommendation in council.
Okay. 'Cause when you go to change the zoning, my understanding was you had to do a mailing for all the residents
We'll check
in
with,
that area.
we'll check with,
but-
well, because there's more than one area. We have more than one R2 area. So I'll check with Craig, but I think you just have to
You would
advertise.
just, well,
They can do advertising.
Yeah.
yeah, but there was a law that was changed years ago that you had to do a mailing to everybody
If it
in
just-
that area.
If it just affected one area,
If
yeah.
it-
But if it's several areas, I'll check with Craig.
I think it's the whole area.
It would be that area, it wouldn't be R2 over in this
Yeah,
side of town.
Are we talking the whole borough, Dave?
Yeah, we
Yes.
use,
You're
if
doing
you
the
change, if you change the zoning where it says R2 areas, it's all areas in the R2
Right.
in Munhall Borough.
So you're doing it for that then, so you're gonna have a hearing at a meeting for it.
We would have to have advertised and have it,
A lot of times I thought with
General.
zoning changes, you had to post the properties.
we'll post the areas.
Yeah,
That's maybe what you're
Yeah,
thinking.
post the areas.
I'm sure Greg will let us know.
Yeah,
that.
Greg will let us know.
All right, Steel Valley Accelerator position opening. You got an email, you have a copy of the email in your packets. There are 2 Steel Valley Accelerator seats that have expired. And they basically confirmed the seats held by both Mayor False and Jeff Myers, who need to be reappointed or replaced during the council meeting. I don't know who Jeff Myers is.
He owns a business called This Is Red.
So we do
They
this,
hold-
basically the next council meeting, just need to reappoint these people to
Well,
the
we need to find out.
or find
I mean,
someone.
I asked them to find out if Jeff Myers was still interested.
Okay.
He hasn't attended a lot of the accelerated meetings lately.
Are you interested?
Oh, yeah, I'll stay with him.
That's one.
I'm interested. I didn't know my term was up, actually. I thought it was lit. I think they just assumed that I would be staying. But I thought only one position was up, was Jeff Myers, but is that what she said? That what she said I'm up to?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I go to the meeting, so.
So there's 2 government officials and 2 business representatives, but 1 government and 1 business representative. So I guess if Jeff is not interested, we'll need to appoint him.
Yeah, we'll have to find out from Sarah Fullwood if he's interested.
Okay.
They were gonna reach out to Jeff Myers.
Okay, all right. I'll reach out to Sarah and ask her. So I got an email from Tree Pittsburgh. There's little flyers over there on the table for the public, but basically they're giving out trees to people interested. So you can make it known, I can make sure it's on the Facebook page and the website. So if you have any questions, you can type it in. But I'll make sure it's publicly available. Council, there's also a application for NDIA for as a third-party building inspector. This would join the other 2 that we've gotten applications for. We should vote next week on who we want as the...
We never went over what they wanted to suggest, changes and fees and stuff, did we?
No, we haven't done that.
So how can we vote on if we don't know what the fees are gonna be?
Well, the fees were listed in the, I believe, the other ones. This one doesn't have the fees listed. Do we have the fees here? Well, I can, oh yeah, here's the fees here listed. This is listed here in the packet. And I'll make sure that we have all of the other ones as well.
It's on the back.
Yeah, towards the end of this one.
Second page from the last 2 pages.
We're gonna do plumbing inspection fees? We're gonna do plumbing inspection fee schedules?
Well, that would depend on the ordinance. We don't have an ordinance specific for plumbing.
I know we don't. The county does.
The county does all that.
A lot of times those companies, like third-party companies, they'll put that in because they deal with outside Allegheny County.
I'm just asking the question that's in front of me here. I know the county regulates all the plumbing fees. But Munhall could. Munhall used to regulate all their plumbing fees before the county took over. Didn't know if we were going back to that again.
Well, this is just their general, all their list of fees, so it applies to everybody they deal with.
All right.
It might not all apply to us, is that what you're saying, Dave?
Basically, yes, this is their fees across the board.
Did you say the other 2 companies came in and did a presentation? Can this one come in and do a presentation also?
I can ask them for that, see if they can do it next week. In the budget, we had authorized $35,000 for a new public works vehicle. No, not a new one, but a used one. But we've been able to identify, through hard work, from Public Works and Mr. Eads, it will identify a new vehicle, F-350,
Yes.
for $42,000, which is $7,000 more than was budgeted, but it's a brand new vehicle.
It's got warranty too, everything.
Warranty and everything, so it's, I knew we needed a new vehicle really badly to replace the one that's basically falling apart. And this is, I think, a good solution. It's over budget a little bit, but it's a new vehicle as opposed to trying to hunt down a used one.
I think it's better than buying somebody else's headache, if we can afford it.
It's in the, where is it? It's in your packets, the actual, price.
That's not a bad price.
No, it's actually not a bad price.
No,
And then common sense says
that's not the right
old
price.
versus new, as long as we can, put it.
That's not the 41,000. Did you say it was 41 or 42?
I thought it was 42.
All right, because it says 52
It
on
says
there.
52
On
on the
the-
paper.
On the paper, on the windows.
Oh,
the
so-
sticker.
The
That's
window
what they
sticker.
gave us.
Oh,
This
yeah.
figure's not the right price.
It's
That's
lower
what
than
they
the
took.
MSRP.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be voting on that next week?
We'll vote on that next week. I'll have the exact number.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think we can swing it with the budget?
I think it's worth it because our other vehicle is not, we're gonna need a new vehicle.
We're not paying it outright, are we? Are we gonna do
We
payments?
could refinance, that would be well under budget, finance it. But this might be a cash price, basically.
Okay.
I'll talk with the guy, I'll get them in contact.
I sent you all that information, I just did the groundwork on it.
Yep, I'll reach out to him.
Sounds like a winner. You got anything on the traffic trial and cameras there?
No, I need to get a hold of, I told Nick I needed, he went up there, Nick Shell's our IT guy, but he has not given me a quote yet on how much it will cost to put them in. First thing we have to do is get internet up there,
Mm-hmm.
and then the cameras are easier. Now, these cameras he recommends are kind of a next generation camera that can be, we need to upgrade like our cameras across the board anyways, like
Right.
the jail cells, all that stuff, and they're all compatible, so they're easier to manage one system, and this would be the.
It'll all be on one system.
We'll need them on the playground and the ball field.
Now, will we be monitoring them here? Will the police monitoring them
I
here?
would think that the police would be the,
Is that how it goes, Jen?
Yes, we can.
All right.
That's our goal, that's what
That's the goal?
Yep.
Do we have cameras downstairs when people walking in and out of the building?
Yeah,
They were there?
yeah.
That's good to know. Thanks.
yeah. But next week, I hope to have an actual, I don't know if we need to vote on it quite yet, but I'll have an idea of how much it will cost.
All right. Sounds good.
I'd like to get the movie.
Okay, then I'll have a number next week.
Because we talked about that last summer, and it's gonna be summer,
Yeah.
before we blink our eyes. We gotta get.
I'll get a hold of Nick
Cameras.
and
I
get an
started
actual
talking
cost.
before we even had the new park up.
Right.
I said, hey, we're getting this new park up, and it costs us a lot, it's cost the borough and the grant a lot of money, and we gotta protect it.
But he's been collecting, he's been doing the work on the cost for us. The last item is Savvy Citizen, which we have a due bill, and I just want to bring it up to council just to get everyone's perspective on it. It's about $4,200 a year, and we currently have 400 participants. I know
it's a good
Mr.
service.
Hunt definitely likes the, in case with Mr. Hunt.
Okay.
In case of an emergency, it's used. Its impact on every day is minimal, I would say, but if we want to use it for emergencies, that might be the thing to do. I want to get a test before I just paid the bill and continue on the service.
We should pay
One
the
to get
bill,
an idea.
we need to advertise them more that we use Savvy Citizen. We need to be more
And
vocal
update
that
it.
we use it. We need to use it more, from the borough office staff to the police department.
Okay.
If Public Works has something going on, calling for a snowstorm, maybe people can park in the driveway. We need to be able to use it more. If we're not using it, not sending out notifications, what good is it doing?
And if you can put on there that trash is a day late, a lot of people can't figure that out.
I've gotten 5 emails through that for abandoned vehicles this week alone.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good enough.
So it's a it's a good program.
I'll
Like Tim
I'll
said,
get the
we
process this week then.
we gotta
Okay.
advertise a little more about it.
Yeah, we can do that. I can definitely do that. Once we have an admin person here. we'll-
I
Go ahead, Daryl.
Okay,
I give council an update on Savvy Citizens. They're expanding their program. What it's gonna be, as soon as they get it to the federal government, I give council each one a sheet that explains what it's gonna be. There's no extra cost for the borough. They are coming out now that West Homestead joined Savvy Citizens, and we're gonna start to get it out more into the public to get more people to join it.
It is a good service.
The people that join it love it.
It's very informative.
I got complaints already from a couple people because once I guess Melissa left, nothing was going on with Savvy Citizens. And people actually missed what was going on. And I know the police department can put it on, I can put it on, and the borough office can put anything else on.
That's good.
All right.
But their update is there. What they're trying to get through the federal government is called iPod. So.
Okay.
I just want to comment that Dave, I did look it up, and on February 20th, 2024, motion 3 said, motion to authorize the manager to enter into an annual contract with Savvy Citizen for mass communication services at an annual cost of $4,439 plus $600 for advertising/outreach. The motion was made by Dave Youngkin, seconded by me, and everybody said yes. So.
Okay, I don't doubt the council authorized it.
Yeah.
I was just getting a test of the
Yeah.
council. for the-
Do we still have a lot of those signs that for Savvy Citizens, for people to sign up, that we could
Put
put
a
on
little
businesses?
postcards.
Yeah,
Well, they
we a
had
bunch of
yard
postcards.
signs for a while.
We had yard signs too at one time.
Well, there's a, I guess a budget, well, there was a budget approved last year, I didn't put it in this year.
Well, I don't, I just wonder if some have, do we
So
still
we
go
always
in
put a little
around?
money into it.
I plan on going up to the Main Street Market again.
Yeah,
And get, where I was last year, I was up there the last market, and I got 20 people to sign up because they
Nice.
didn't know about it.
actually.
I'm gonna try to locate more central, like around Green Funeral Home where I can set up the booth and not only pass hats, but put my emergency planning and get people to join.
I know some people, we'll get you a
That's a
good
good
spot.
idea, Daryl. Thank you.
We'll get you a good spot, Daryl.
You know somebody?
I know somebody with that.
If
People in high
you
places.
if you use a Savvy Citizen now, you will see, now that West Homestead is also using it, we get their updates also. So if something's going on in West Homestead, we will get that update also.
If you flip the switch on it to say you want West Homestead's update.
No, that's fine.
We can sign it, yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, Daryl, I know you contacted several members of council regarding this. You could have just come to me about paying the bill. I was on top of it.
That, you know, I don't know, I guess the email got lost that I sent you. I sent one to John, and I didn't hear anything back, and then they called me and wanted to talk to someone from.
Got it. That's fine. All right, we'll get it taken care of.
Okay, we got any old business?
Do you plan on doing anything with these ordinances? You wanna talk?
Yeah, let me talk about those real quick. Those are the ones that Greg prepared for next week's meeting. There's 2 ordinances here. And I sent them an email when I got them from Greg, but here are the actual physical copies. One is to change the size of the planning commission to 7 members from 9. Because it's been hard to get a quorum.
Can't get a quorum.
And the other is to change the way fees are approved by council. Right now, you have to go through an actual ordinance, which is a long process. This would make it so the council can, via resolution, just vote to change or adopt new fees. It's just more efficient, makes sense.
Makes sense.
But Greg can respond to any specific questions about it, but we can vote on these advertisements next Tuesday.
So we're just gonna be advertising them next
Just
week.
advertising next Tuesday.
Thank you.
This plus the R2 is on it. So three advertisements will go out.
Okay.
Any
Yes.
questions about those 2
Yeah.
ordinances?
How many is on planning now? 9 still?
9.
Do you have 9 seats filled?
Yes, technically.
But they don't come, some people don't come at all.
Are they notified? Because years ago, there was always,
Yeah, they're notified, they don't even come.
okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Dave, you got any old business?
I don't know.
Anything else?
I
Anybody else got old
I got a
business?
few things,
Go
just
ahead.
three, I'll make it short. I'll be contacting everybody, we gotta set up, it's coming right around the corner, we gotta get a Memorial Day meeting together. I'll contact everybody that's, in all council who wants to be involved, or any citizens that wanna be involved. We gotta get our Memorial Day meeting started. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, and I just realized this last week because I ran into West Homestead, and we happen to have the same anniversary, Dave Harhide told me. Next year in 2026, Munhall is gonna celebrate their 125th year. I think it's something we should do every 25 years. They did 100, there's a picture in the hall of Mayor Bodnar. So I think we need to start planning on that, and not just council, I think we need to get a large citizens group involved in the planning of the 125th anniversary. And some of you may have read this on Facebook, that, follow Facebook. We're losing the business on Main Street. Stoney's Tacos is closing.
Did he say what?
Didn't say why.
He said it was a hard decision.
It was a hard decision, but
Yes.
he's closing, so we're gonna have to look and see. Is anything with that group of investors that reach out to businesses?
Well, now that we know it, we have a meeting Saturday, so we'll talk to them.
Okay, yeah, if you can reach out.
If you're available, why don't you come down, though? You busy this week?
I am. Saturday, I'm committed to the St. Patrick's Day Parade, even though I'm not Irish.
All right.
I'm with the Lions Club, and the Lions Club has a group, and I've committed to go to the St. Patrick's Day Parade with the Lions Club.
It's in the afternoon, so you can go afterwards.
Well, the parade,
Unless you're
that
gonna
parade's
party
a
after.
huge,
Parade
that parade
goes
is a
all
huge
day.
parade.
He's gonna
That
be there all
parade goes
day.
They all day and all night,
That
don't
parade,
worry.
the lineup, I'll be told to be there at 9, and
Till
the
midnight.
parade last year, no, I don't know afterwards. The parade, we didn't even move in the parade because there was I think it was over 200 groups in that parade. We didn't even move until about 11:30. By the time we finished the parade, it was about 1:30.
I was supposed to be in for the jail, but I gotta go down home.
So I'll be but I'll try to attend that next meeting with that group. I'd love to come there.
Yeah, we'd like to have you.
And, yeah, that's it. Memorial Day, I'm gonna reach out, we gotta get a group together for an anniversary for 2026 for Munhall's 125th anniversary, and then the closing of Stoney's, so if we can reach out. I don't wanna leave that business vacant. I think Greens own that business, I think Greens are the owner of that.
On the building.
Greens own that building, I believe.
Okay.
At least that's what I understood years ago,
I think we do.
that it was Greens owned that building.
Okay, you got any public comments on anything?
Go ahead.
Bill Hanna, 138 Carnal Drive. A couple things. Their local lawmaker has introduced a bill at the state level right there, fight blight. It will come back and it's aimed, if it passes, it is aimed at fining the people that are not in compliance itself. So just something that.
Like the municipality can do the finding.
What's that?
Like the municipality can directly fine the people, you don't have
Yes,
to.
directly fine
For?
the people.
What are they finding them for? So I couldn't hear you, Bill.
Blight.
Blight?
Blight.
Thank you.
Code violations, et cetera, et cetera. It just was locally introduced. And the second thing, in conversation with Councilman Eads earlier, late last year, early this year, there were some questions on the validity of the GIS information that GPI provided in reference to the roads. If that is the case, right there, we paid GPI over $30,000. We really need a statement out of the engineering firm so the solicitor can go back right there and talk to GPI, because the fact they did have problems with the study in the beginning with their vehicle, and they had to come back, and they finally finished it before the end of the year itself. Quite honest, you need that information for the stormwater also, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you already have a study,
Well, they
isn't
said,
it?
no, they said when we did the paving, that it wasn't right there.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. If the information is correct, we paid $30,000 for the information that, I think we need a statement from the engineering firm to be given to the solicitor, so the solicitor can contact GPI itself. Now, they had several subsidiaries themselves, okay, so they may give you the runaround around the fact right there, well, it's not us, it's one of their subsidiaries itself. So, to me,
Yeah, if I
that's-
remember correctly, that truck was in a different company than,
Yeah, they started in August, and then the truck broke down, then they finally finished at the end of October, and then they gave us the runaround to the end of the year, and before the end of the year, they finally gave us the data. And David, you have, obviously, we have the data because we've used it, and it's not good. So, we really need to do that, because I don't think we should pay right there for an additional GIS study, and that was used for people that was used, that study along with, was grading the roads, to create a 10-year road plan itself. So that data is very important, and it can be used in many areas. So just really would like to see the statement out of the engineering firm, give it to the solicitor, move forward, and then just pay attention where this bill goes in reference to blight. Might be another tool that Munhall Borough can use. Thank you.
okay, anybody else? Drew?
Mr. Chairman, Drew Borsick, member of the Munhall Homestead Housing Association. I came in this evening with Mr. Petruzzi. He's asking you, and same with Mr. Hanna here. And I can tell you that your engineering company should be the ones that are going out looking at your streets and figuring out which ones are the worst and giving you a list of that. And that's how you should be going with your pavement in future projects.
We did that.
I understand also that Munhall had purchased, and I know because Homestead borrowed it last year and contracted with you to do some of our paving. And I would like you to consider, because as Mr. Petruzzi asked, that we paved Longfellow Drive. It hadn't been paved in over 25 years. But the thing comes down to it is, if we could save money here in the borough of Munhall, why can't we look at and look into having our street department pave that circle up there? And it would be good practice for them, and it would work for us. So that may be a consideration, because when you're planning to pave streets, to get the monies together and such like that, I've been a councilman 33 years, as you all well know. And the thing comes down to it, this takes years to do, and, you know, well, we're gonna do this because we only received this. And with the current climate, I don't know if there's gonna be any grants out there in the future. So I would like you to consider also using your own crews to pave Longfellow Drive. But I agree 100% with Mr. Hanna, and we always did it with our engineer. We empowered them to go through all of our streets and figure out which ones were the worst and which needed paved more so than others. That way no one could come and say, oh, Mr. Youngkin picked that street, or Mr. Brennan picked that street, or Mr. Vodadian picked that street. So, you know, it would save everybody some embarrassment, arguments and such, that you would follow this, because we always did that in Homestead. And we're smaller than you are.
Drew, we
were
actually had our engineer go out because some of them roads were wrong. They were saying they were real bad, and we went by there and they weren't bad.
I understand.
So that's when our engineer went out and did it, and that's how we did the paving this year.
Well, that's good. You know, I'd just like to say that, but I wanted you to consider possibility, because it does take a lot of planning, a lot of more money.
Right.
Than
We're gonna have to work
doing it in-house.
We'll have to look at it and look at the budget for next year.
Appreciate it, gentlemen and lady. Thank you.
This year, we're doing everything else this year.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Just a little bit of information. April 13th, there's gonna be a race on 8th Avenue. It's gonna run from the old Buffington to Library Street, and the streets will be closed from like 7:30 in the morning to after the race, which will take about 2 hours. Chief Foley was at the meeting, Mr. Reed was at the meeting. Our plans aren't really final yet, we still have another meeting to go to on this. They expect approximately 150 runners.
Is this the Girls on the Run?
No,
Yeah.
this is completely different.
Okay.
Daryl,
This is gonna be on 8th Avenue.
Can you keep the borough management informed of what's going on there?
I know about the race.
Right.
Yeah, they called me last
Right.
week. And if Tom knows about it, then we're probably good.
Right.
Because the Still Valley Accelerator is putting this one.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any additional items? No. Need a motion to adjourn? Second?
I second.